finishing touches on the Porsche. That's right, I said it. It's kind of a lie. I am doing some finishing touches on this thing that's gonna tidy up some interior items. I got an awesome new steering wheel. Lots of good stuff. So I gotta unbox some stuff and then we'll get started. We'll do the best thing first. I already had a sneak peek at it, but it looks amazing. This thing is incredible. This is a totally custom wheel from AZA Auto. They specialize in all sorts of steering wheels. They make for all sorts of makes and models, and this thing looks the part. I went with carbon fiber on the outside, perforated leather, a yellow stripe, and yellow stitching all around. My car has yellow stitching on the inside and it has yellow paint, so you get it, the yellow. Makes sense. It's just a super high quality unit. They really take their time, and you can tell they put a lot of time, energy, and passion into these things, so they look so good. Because the carbon fiber looks perfect, the leather and stitching is perfect, even the racing stripe is underneath the clear, and you can't even feel it. Amazing piece. I'm super excited to get it installed. Now, if you weren't aware, the steering wheel in my car matches the rest of the interior in that it's disgusting, worn out, beat up, and has the equivalent of human cheese basically on top. It's just gross, needs replaced. This is going to be a huge upgrade in the process of me finishing up and redoing the entire interior on this car. So first step is to pull the old one out. Shouldn't be too difficult. They take an OEM wheel and customize it, so it should be pretty much plug and play, easy peasy, won't be too difficult. For anyone at home wanting to replace their steering wheel, luckily for you, they're super easy to replace. There's 2 Torx bolts that hold on the airbag, and then once you get the airbag out of the way, there's just one large nut, a couple connectors, you pull the whole thing out. Really easy to do. Didn't blow up, so that's a good sign. I forgot to mark the freaking steering wheel. Oh well, I'll figure it out. My wheels are straight, so I'm hoping that I'm just gonna put this one straight and hope for the best. If not, it's not a big deal to adjust it later. That should be it there. Wow, that feels good. That feels really good. Just one piece I had to swap over, this little ground plug here. The old one had it and the new one doesn't. But it's just a simple little bolt. That little guy right there. Look at this freaking wheel. Ah, so excited to feel it. That looks, whew, that is quality craftsmanship. I will say that absolutely. She is finished and looking mighty fine. Man, that feels freaking good. Let me plug the battery back in, make sure I don't get an airbag light or an airbag explosion or, well, anything like that. Extremely quick ad if you'd like to get entered for a chance to win this Milwaukee 3/8 high-speed ratchet kit, battery charger, and the ratchet obviously included. You're running out of time. The giveaway ends the end of April, so you just have a select few days left. Every $5 gets you a chance to win. I've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, key tags, all on the website, and everything on the website gets you entered for a chance to win. I don't sell much merch, so your chances of winning are extremely high. Nothing exploded. See what happens here. All right, horn still works, excellent. No lights, guys. Excellent. I just went out for the first drive with the new steering wheel. It feels so good. It is thicker. It's got like thumb pads and everything. The carbon fiber feels really good. The leather feels really good. But of course, I'm one notch off. I gotta rotate it once to the right. So I gotta take it basically all back apart. Wonder if I can do it without disconnecting the airbag. Maybe. Just gotta move it one notch to the right. That should be straight. But of course I won't know until I drive it again. But that was, when I drove it, it was like just a hair off. It had to be just one click on there. So I believe I moved it just one click. Drive it and find out. Took it for a quick drive and realized the steering wheel was nice and perfectly straight now. Also, when driving it, I realized I wanted to adjust the amp a little bit. If you saw in the last video, I installed this new Pioneer amp. I still haven't perfected it yet, so there's still settings I gotta play with. And after driving it for a while, I realized I wanted a little bit more bass. But Matt, why are you installing a new steering wheel when you have these hideous taillights on there? Well, I thought the steering wheel was a pretty good upgrade because it was gross and it needed replacing, kind of just like the taillights. Yeah, but the taillights are horrendous. Well, I'm only one man. I can only do so much at a time. No, don't care about getting the paint work done and the check engine light fixed and the wheel bearing and the window motor. These need fixed now. Why aren't you doing it? In all seriousness, guys, I am going to take care of the taillights. I've just been swamped with all the other things that I've been fixing on the car because, you know, it needs a lot of stuff. But I'm going to start working on them very, very soon. Perhaps the next video? We'll see. It's not going to be a simple job. It's going to be kind of labor intensive. But at the same time, I think I'm going to do the headlights as well because they need refinishing. Clear coat's coming off. You know the drill. Plus, the low beams are absolutely terrible on this car. The only reason the high beams are good is because I installed aftermarket aux beam high beam bulbs, and that makes the high beams incredible. But the actual projectors and HIDs themselves, I don't know if my ballasts are shot, the bulbs are old. I have to address that in the video as well, because driving this thing around with low beams, it's nearly dangerous. They're so dim. Let me know your thoughts on that. I want just a tad more bass, so I'm going to see how hard it is to adjust that with the amp where it is. I don't know if I'll have to actually pull it out or if I can adjust the screws with it sitting in there. We'll find out. That's all I needed, just a tiny little adjustment, and I can do it all right here. I just peel back the liner and I can access all of the settings, which is super nice. It was partial luck that it ended like this, but I purposely faced the amp this specific way so I could do that. Because on the other side, there's no adjustments, it's all just connections. Now, something else I want to take care of are these rear windows. So if you look, these don't, well, they don't match because the window's down. If you look, this window has no tint, and this window is still tinted. I removed the tint from here because it was nasty, gross. Same thing from the rear. That's a throwback. That was like within the first week I got the car. But now the car's got tint on it all around. It's pretty dark, but it's all coming off. It's all chipping and peeling. This absolutely sucks. I'm tired, I'm sweaty, I'm bleeding. If you guys have ever removed rear window tint with defrost, you'll know the struggle. But these rear quarters, the tint is actually fine, so I never got rid of it, but I want to get rid of it now because it doesn't look right having the rear tinted and not the front. Eventually I'll have the whole car re-tinted, but for now, I want to get rid of that so at least they match. Little bonus garage mods and upgrades for you guys that are interested. I love doing little things like this. The extension rail that I currently have is only like 20 or 25 feet long, and it's not powerful enough. So it's just an Amazon unit. It works fine. The problem is when you put a lot of draw on it, it trips its automatic breaker. So I can't use the heat gun on it. I can use it for like 10 seconds and then it trips the breaker. So, and the fact that it doesn't reach far enough outside kind of makes it worthless. I got like 10 feet outside the garage. It's not nearly long enough. So, Viver sent me a brand new one. This is a 65-foot, much heavier duty electrical load. So I'm gonna mount this up in a new location, take the old one out, get rid of that, and then I need to run a new wire to my battery tender, since really that's the only reason I use the reel that I have now is just to run to the battery tender. So I want some permanent wiring for the battery tender. I want to get this thing mounted and be able to use it all throughout the garage and outside, like when I'm detailing my truck and need to use the dual action polisher, etc. This is like the only thing I use this for, is to hook up to that. And obviously I hit my head on that all the time. I was just working on my car and every time I came through, I hit my head. It's very annoying. And this thing just doesn't have the electrical load capacity. So that's gotta go. Gotta shuffle some things around, run some wiring. Nice little garage project. Not perfect or the absolute cleanest, but that'll work nonetheless. And now I have some extra plugs here just in case I need it. But this is good for me. Now I have my air hose reel here, and I was able to shift the TV over enough where I think I can put the new electrical cord reel right next to it. It's gonna be a tight fit. No studs there. New plan. I think I'm gonna go right underneath this one because I know there's studs there. That should work pretty well. What's pretty cool is too, it comes with this bracket. So you actually just mount this to the wall and then that piece just slides right on. So really all I have to do is find my studs, screw this in. I use these little wing nut things on the other side, but after I screwed them on here, I realized they were on backwards, so yes, before installing I did flip them around, but they hold pretty well for just drywall. Well, I'm not going to let this run all day, so I'd say that's a win. Definitely couldn't do this with the old one. Now that I had an extension cord that could reach all the way, it's time to get out the heat gun and start removing all the tint, which is obviously fun stuff. Removing the tint made a giant mess, especially when I used the air gun, so now of course it was time to vacuum everything up. Actually reminds me, I have some new parts. For the inside. It's relevant now that it's vacuumed. Finally got some floor mats for this Jonesy. Finally I could find a razor blade. Holy crap, I've made such a mess. Wow. I got these because this car didn't have any floor mats. The goal is to replace the carpet in here. So when I replace the carpet, so it's quite the hanger setup. You gotta like push a button in and then when I finally get new carpet in the car, I'm gonna want to protect it, obviously. That kind of fits in there. It's not that great of a fit. Yeah, it fits. What kind of sucks is that covers up the nice Renline floorboards like entirely. You can't even see them. I didn't think of that. Is there something to protect the carpet from my muddy shoes? Much better. Peace of mind knowing that that's done. I've been wanting to do that for a while. It's one of those things didn't get around to doing. Also, shout out to Beaver for the 65-foot extension reel. That thing came in super handy here, you saw, with the vacuum cleaner and the heat gun. The old one, I couldn't have used that at all for the heat gun. Number one, it would have blown the breaker. Number two, the cord wouldn't have been long enough to wrap around the other side. Link below for that thing. Super handy. What do you guys think about tint? If I get this tinted, should I? What percentage? I don't know. I honestly don't mind the fishbowl look. That's what's on the E36. The truck's tinted, but I don't know. Up in the air. Let me know your thoughts.